So these over here are some of the best bang for buck motherboards for your creator PC or workstation, or some of the best motherboards overall for your creator PC. Now when choosing a motherboard, it can be a little bit difficult to know what's the difference and how to choose them, but in this video, hopefully I'm gonna make the choice a bit easier for you.
If you're looking for a cheap Windows 10 OEM license, then look no further. Bobkeys.com is a website where you can purchase all sorts of keys and licenses for very affordable prices. With a Tech Notice discount, you'll be able to get the Windows 10 Pro license 25% off. To purchase the license, click on the link in the description or search for Windows 10 license on Bobkeys.com. Then add the product to the cart and press proceed checkout. Remember to add the 25% discount code and complete the order. Once you have the license key, click here, paste in the license, and you're all done. Check out Bobkeys.com in the description below.
So recently I created a poll on my YouTube channel and asked what are the most important features that you want for your motherboard when making a creator PC. And looks like over 50% of the people want to have as many M.2 slots for the motherboard as possible for storage as SSDs. Second place was 21% as many USB ports there as possible. And then third of all, about 13% of people wanted 10 gigabit Ethernet or at least 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. And then finally, 11% of the people wanted Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built into the motherboard. Now here I have three, and then we're going to talk about this a bit later because that's like another level of a motherboard over there. But these are three motherboards over here, and different motherboards here, there's different features on all of these three that really excite me and think, wow, this is amazing feature. There's no such thing as a perfect motherboard, but hopefully this will give you like an option that, okay, I think this will work best for my build. So what I'm gonna want to start with is this motherboard over here. This over here is an MSI B550 Unify motherboard. One of the most exciting features for this motherboard, which should excite most of you guys, is that there is 4 M.2 slots on this motherboard. Now usually to get 4 M.2 slots on the motherboard, you're gonna have to pay quite a bit of a premium to get quite high-end stuff over there. And I'm not sure if there is another B550 motherboard with a B550 chipset that has 4 M.2 slots on the motherboard. I know that there is some high-end MSI and Gigabyte and even Asus boards that have X570 chipset, but this is B550, which means it's a little bit lower down, so you're going to save a little bit of money. So first of all, how much does this motherboard cost? This one over here in the UK cost £179, 180 quid, and that is amazing. In the US, price is a little bit more mental because this one in the US costs $290, which is a little bit bonkers to me because it's like more expensive in the US. Usually it's the other way around. Things are cheaper in the US and more expensive in the UK. So apart from these 4 M.2 slots, what are some of the features then on this motherboard? Basically, I think this could be like the motherboard that covers most of the people out there and most of the needs for people out there, because it's got all of them except one, which is 10 gigabit Ethernet. If you need that, you're just gonna have to buy an extra NIC and put it down there. There you go, extra $100. But not a lot of people need that. So if you don't have a NAS or things like that, this is like the perfect option for you, because 4 RAM slots over here, which is good. One of these M.2 slots is PCIe 4.0 and the rest of them 3.0. There is 6 SATA ports as well, but if you want to use all of the SATA ports and the M.2 slots at the same time, that is not possible. So if I'm correct, what happens is that if you use all of the M.2 slots, you lose 2 of the SATA ports over here, so you can only use 4 of them, which for me is perfectly fine. I don't think a lot of people use that many hard drives anymore, and if you do, you should be really moving them onto a NAS for a safer storage option. So then you have all the good motherboard options that you would like. This one over here is a front panel USB-C port. This is a USB 3.2 Gen 1 port. We have a debug LED light over here, so you can see your CPU temperature straight on here, or some of the, debug if there is a problem on the motherboard, something like a boot option, whatever, it's going to give you an error code over there. There is a power on and reset button on the motherboard if you want to use this on a test bench, or if you want to turn the motherboard on. You've got pretty good heat sinks for your VRAMs over there. That's really good. You've got 2 4+4 CPU powers over there. So if you want to overclock your CPU, this is AMD board. So if you want to use like a precision boost overdrive for your CPU over here, you can actually get that extra power from your power supply. Interestingly enough, this motherboard actually has a PCIe power connector over here as well that you need to connect, probably because there's so many M.2 slots and they require power as well. So it needs a little bit of extra power. So make sure when you're choosing a power supply for this motherboard that you do have an extra PCIe power port there as well, which shouldn't really be a problem. But if you very much want to cheap out and get one of the cheapest boards, then you know, you might not have that there. Let's have a look at some of the I/O of this motherboard then. First of all, you can see an HDMI port over here, which means that if you use one of those Ryzen 4000 Series G processors, if you haven't seen that video before on my channel, and you can't have a graphics card right now, you can actually get it working with this one, because you can use this over there and use it without the graphics card, integrated graphics. This is like the best APUs on the planet right now. And you can use the BIOS update USB over here as well. Now, secondly, people wanted a lot of fast USB ports, and as you can see, you get quite a few over here. Now, these 4 over here are USB 2.0, but then you also get 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, which are 10 gigabit connections over here. One of them is USB-C as well if you wanted to. And you get a 2.5 gig LAN port, which is amazing, and we have Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.0 built in as well. So it's literally ticking almost every single box of you know, the creators, and you know, some of the very old keyboard and mouse connector or some kind of drawing pad. This over here is over here available as well if you needed to. You know, BIOS and CMOS clear buttons, and obviously all your audio buttons over there. Now, set that all to this motherboard. I don't know if there is a motherboard with the same price that covers all of this, what you need. Like, I don't know what else you need. 10 gigabit Ethernet, okay, get that card over there and you sorted amazing speeds over here. Now, next of all, I want to talk about this board over here. I have made a complete different video about this board on my channel as well, but I think it's worth to mention because it's very much one of a kind, and a lot of creators might need this, especially if you're a music producer. You might need a Thunderbolt port for your motherboard, and if you know, AMD processors are most likely better option right now for all the creators. And to get an AMD motherboard that has Thunderbolt ports, it's not very common, especially if you want Thunderbolt 4.0. This is the only motherboard on the planet right now. Thunderbolt 3, there is an option from Gigabyte as well, which you can check out. I've got another video of that on the motherboard on my channel. But this one over here is quite amazing as well. We've got 2 PCIe M.2 slots, one of them PCIe 4.0, these, and you have Thunderbolt 4 ports, and you have USB 3.0 2 ports as well, so kind of the same. You get a lot of connectivity and dual 2.5 gigabit LAN, which is quite, you know, amazing as well if you wanted to connect to like an internet and a NAS at the same time. This one doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth 6 built in, which Bluetooth 6, I don't think that exists. Wi-Fi or Bluetooth 5 built in. If you need that, you're gonna have to get an extra port for that. So that's why I'm thinking this MSI board, if you don't need those Thunderbolt ports, might be a little bit of a better option over there. So if you do want the Thunderbolt 4 for AMD platform, this motherboard is the only option out there, and you're gonna have to pay a little bit of a premium for that, which in the US is $299, or in the UK is £219. So if you want to check them out, the link for these are in the description below. And last of all, I want to check out this motherboard over here, which is probably like the best bang for buck in a lot of different ways. Like, okay, there is a lot of drawback that there isn't Wi-Fi or Bluetooth built in. You can still use the Ryzen 4000 series processors if you want to over there, but you do need another processor to upgrade this, because there is no BIOS flash button on this motherboard, so you can't use a USB flash to flash this motherboard, so you can need another motherboard to do that. Or if you check one of the latest out there, sometimes they update the BIOS and it might already be updated from the BIOS, and you can use the 4000 series processors, but not likely. So then you've got quite a bit of like USB 3.0 ports, but not a lot. This LAN is only 1 gigabit port, so not really good for NAS. You can use it for NAS, but it's probably gonna struggle there a little bit. Only 125 megabytes per second maximum transfer speeds, but that's that. But what is good about this motherboard is that it is X570, which means you're gonna get PCIe 4.0 slots, and they're both of these slots are PCIe 4.0 if you wanted to do that. And you've got 4 RAM slots, You've got 4 SATA ports, actually 8 SATA ports if you need a lot of hard drives. If that is what you need, then that's this over here. And this one is the cheapest of the bunch, which is $177. Now, if you're in the UK right now, then this one costs £207. And if you remember correctly, this motherboard over here is cheaper, and as you can see, features so much more. So right now, I think this over here is the best bang for buck motherboard for all the features you're gonna get, because even this that used to be like the cheapest out there has raised in price so much, and it doesn't have a front panel USB-C port. So if your case has one of those, you can have it in here. No Wi-Fi built in, no Bluetooth, so you're gonna have to have these all extra. But if you do need PCIe 4.0 speeds and 2 of them at Asus slots in that speed, it's very, very good motherboard over there. So now let's talk about something which is this one over here. And I don't have it in outs over here because I'm actually using this in my personal rig. And this one over here is the MSI X570 Prestige Creation motherboard. And this one over here has like all the bells and whistles that you need. So if you look in the back, you're gonna get absolutely tons of USB ports. And if you need one of those, you know, go check it out, because I don't know if there is any other motherboard that has that many USB 3.2 ports. It's absolutely ridiculous. You have M.2 slots on the motherboard, you have 2 underneath there, and you also get an expansion card with it that you can add another 2 on the expansion card, and then you can have 4 altogether. And all of those 4 can be PCIe 4.0 because it's an X570 chipset, which is ridiculous. You get a 10 gigabit Ethernet built into the motherboard. You're thinking, whoa, to get all that, that is ridiculous. Plus you have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in, and you also get 1 gigabit LAN port and 10 gigabit LAN port. So both of these together, which is amazing. Now, if you want to check this motherboard out, you have to act fast, because this is the end of this motherboard lifetime, which means they don't produce these motherboards anymore. Whatever is on sale, you can get them, but there is nothing like this motherboard out there. So if you can get that, just get that. I'm gonna leave the link in the description below, because this is amazing motherboard and it supports all the processors. If you have one of the Ryzen 5000 series processor, then you might need an update for this, but you can do that with a USB flash. So in conclusion, this MSI B550 Unify over here is probably the best bang for buck for most people, and I don't think you need anything more. And if you do need something more, then, you know, get the 10 gig LAN, and then you should be it. Hopefully this video helped you decide and see some of the best motherboards that I think are out there. So if you want to pick up any of these, I'm gonna leave the links in the description below. Now also, if you choose to build yourself a PC right now and you're looking for motherboards, I recommend you check the latest pricing below in the links below, because the prices go up and down all the time. So sometimes you might get like a better motherboard for cheaper, or a cheaper motherboard is actually more expensive now than this one, as you can see. Then definitely check out the latest pricing, or if you come back to the video, just go and check out the latest pricing in the description below. Thanks very much guys for watching. Hit that like button, it actually makes a difference. Thank you very much if you choose to do so. If you have any other questions, leave a comment below. I'm going to meet you down there. Also, if you do think I missed some kind of motherboard, if you're into PC parts, then let me know in the comment section below what is like the best motherboard for creators you think. I'll meet you in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.